Haunted by memories of the past. Scorpio, that's what I'm seeing with the Four of Cups and the Nine of Swords. The Four of Cups is memories, and the Nine of Swords is the stress and anxiety that comes from remembering. And I think this might not even be recent. This could be like all the way back to your childhood. This is like trauma, okay? Could even be stuff that you don't think about all the time, but still affects you, your daily life, and the way that you behave, in everyday life. We've got the Six of Pentacles, the Fool, and the Seven of Wands. So there have been times in your life when you had nothing, when you literally had to scrape by with no money, maybe even no food. Like with the Fool next to the Six of Pentacles, it's like needing to borrow money, not having much money and having to like work up money from scratch. Looking at the Seven of Wands, that's not the case any longer. But the trauma from that experience still lingers, and it still affects the way you behave, whether you realize it or not. So let's pull some oracle cards and dig a little bit deeper. How many more? Okay, so now we have the Staff, the Moon, and Jupiter. This is again having to put in the effort. That's the Staff. It's like labor. It's like hard work and like the sweat off your brow. That's the Staff. With the Moon, that is like over a long period of time, because the Moon is habitually. So doing this habitually in order to get all the things that you need in order to increase and grow anything in your life, you basically have to work for everything. That's what these three cards mean. Underneath that, we have Scorpio and Libra. It actually wasn't great. It was a lot of suffering, and it was a lot of grunt work, It wasn't a great experience, and yet for some reason, I think that you normalized it. We have Libra. You're like, oh, it's just part of the game. It's just the way it is. You normalized this horrible experience where you report and you had to I don't want to say, you had to scrape money together. You had to work for every single dime, and you had to struggle, and you normalized it for yourself. And now you just believe that it's okay, or you think that it's no problem. Everybody should have to do this, right? You think, but it's still with you. Yeah, whether you think it was normal or not, the trauma is there. Let's pull advice for you. Holy shit. Okay, so we have the Star reversed with the Six of Pentacles. That is believing that you shouldn't be given anything, that you shouldn't be allowed to survive. You should have to scrape and beg, and you should have to bleed just to live. Because the star is really like a giving energy. It's like being taken care of by the universe, right? You don't believe you should be taken care of by the universe. You believe that's lazy. Three of Wands reversed. So you have this distorted perception of what is lazy, because I think that people should just be allowed to survive without having to bleed and scrape and fear in order to just live, right? On the bottom, we have the Six of Wands, and underneath that, the Three of Swords. It's like, in order to be successful, Six of Wands, we have to suffer. We have to feel pain. Pain is required for life. It's part of the equation. I don't know about that. Let's pull advice from the oracle. Advice for Scorpio? Okay, so just because you had to do something that was bad, that sucked, doesn't mean you have to pass that on to the next person. Doesn't mean it needs to be normalized. It doesn't mean that it's part of life. So we have Scorpio with the Torch. That's the shitty stuff that you are forced to have to endure. And Gemini is passing that on to the next person. It's like saying, oh no, everybody does. I'm gonna move these out of here. Okay, and then we have Taurus, Pisces, and we have the Moon card here. It's like softening. There's a certain softening and empathy that Pisces has as a zodiac sign. So that's the message here from Pisces, is have a little bit of soften up with regards to needing to really, because Taurus is like the grunt work, okay? Soften up with regards to that. Just because you had to endure some grunt work doesn't mean you can't have empathy for other people. I feel just because you had to go through it doesn't mean that just because you have to minimalize the experience that somebody else is going through, right? I think you guys get what I'm getting. Yeah, and it's just on a very basic level. Just because it's part of your path doesn't mean it's part of somebody else's path. All right, I think that's going to be your reading, Scorpios. So if that resonated for you, go ahead and like the video and follow the channel if you want to come back and you want to see more of these videos.